Hey Leo, I'm Eleanor and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick a card reading and your theme this week is awakening. And so this is going to be talking about, paired with your Three of Swords, your monthly energy, learning the ways, it's being empowered by the realization of the choices that you make and how they can lead to pain. And when you can learn the ways that you can choose differently, you're able to escape a cycle and escape history repeating itself. So I'm using the Butterfly Affirmations and the Chrysalis Tarot. I have stacked 1, 2, and 3. They're timestamped below, so you can skip to the one or more than one that you feel like is meant for you. This is a general reading just for the collective, so if you want something more personal that makes more sense for your situation, I have personal readings available, and they're in my Etsy shop, linked below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'm very grateful for you spending this time with me right now. So let's do stack 1. You have the Knight of Cups, the Dreamer, the Magician or the Ravens. And this is your Butterfly, and it says, when I don't know what is happening, I choose to be curious and excited about what is going to be. Okay. This feels like your power to choose differently lies in assumption making. The Magician is such a powerful and creative energy. And so when this surrounds you, you do have to be mindful of your thoughts, kind of like in the Ghostbusters. And when, I don't remember which one of them, but as soon as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man popped into his head, that's what manifested. That's how Zool manifested, or whatever it was. Or like, if you ever see that old movie, Forbidden Planet, the creature from the It, and that's how sometimes our thoughts can become things. And so with the Magician here in your reading, you are very powerful, and your thoughts are very powerful creative energies at this time. And so you can accidentally manifest something that you don't intend. And the Dreamer, and this does show you having a very active imagination at this time. And it's kind of the same thing about with this Magician, is he is on a journey of taking those thoughts and creating reality with them. And so this is like the more spiritual, and this is the more day-to-day way that you do that, or the persona that you're taking on, harnessing, like this is you harnessing this energy into your daily life, taking that on. And so are you using this ability to turn your imagination into real life experience in a way, in a positive or negative way? Like when sometimes happens, your fear may be triggered. You might feel like someone's pulling away from you. Your fear is triggered, and so your response is to push them away. And then that ends a relationship that maybe they had no intention of ending it. Maybe they needed you. Maybe they were under some kind of stress and there was something going on that had nothing to do with you. And so that is where this kind of choosing to be curious, when you don't know what's happening, choosing to be curious and excited for what's going to be, that's where I talk about those assumptions at the beginning, and not thinking. That's how this Three of Swords works, is we start to see something that looks bad or looks familiar from the past, so we react, and that reaction is what causes it to happen. And so how can you, instead of assuming that that's what you're seeing, because maybe certain aspects of it match up, don't fill in the blanks. Let the blanks be unknown. Let that be empty. Be curious. Wait and see what materializes, because it might not be what you think. And if you see those blanks, you fill them in with something negative. And just like with this Magician energy, it's like a 3D printer. It makes it happen. So try to empty that and step back from that and put a question mark there and let it show up for what it actually is, because it might be something to be excited about. Stack 2, you have the Sun, King of Wands, the companion, like a mentor almost. This is your Butterfly, and it says, it is easy for me to attract all that I need into my life. I do this by relaxing and trusting that things are going to work out perfectly. That reminds me of another reader I haven't listened to her in a while, but she used to always say to train your mind to believe that everything, she said, everything's always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. That's just who that made me think of. But so how beautiful is it to have this card, the sun, it's a card of enlightenment with this awakening, right? That is gorgeous. So here you are accessing this King of Wands energy to have this breakthrough. Breakthrough on this obstacle. This Three of Swords is like an obstacle, and that's what you're breaking through. Awakening, I would also consider that like a breakthrough, right? The King of Wands turns his positive intentions into reality, just like this affirmation says. This may be something you need to say to yourself every day, just like I'm kind of like taking her advice and taking her message and telling you it is something you have to make a mantra out of, or make a habit, a thought habit out of. This is something you say to yourself every day, that things are working out for me. Things are always working out for my highest good. Anyways, working out for me and working out for my highest good aren't necessarily the same thing. So you can have something that you think is what you want, but ultimately you'd be better off. Your highest good isn't necessarily what you envision it to be, I guess is my point. And so I guess what I mean to say is things working out for your highest good does not mean a life free from pain or a life free from obstacles, but it is where you understand that every challenge so far that you've faced, you have come out on top, that you've always been able to move forward because here you are. It's like when you step back and stop looking at each challenge, you know, in its face, but look in hindsight, would you change any of it? Would you undo any of it? Or did those twists and turns end up leading you to somewhere that is, well, I don't want to speak for you and say that it's awesome or amazing or great, but probably not the worst case scenario you were fearing, at least, or something in between. Stack 3, you have the Chariot, the Hierophant. This is your butterfly. It says, the love within me is more powerful than doubt or fear. So in this deck, the Chariot does represent your willpower to muscle through barriers and challenges, kind of like the Ganesh card and I had in a different, I think it was for Cancer maybe. And this affirmation confirms that it is your love of life that drives this chariot to victory over your enemies, which are doubt and fear. Now the Hierophant in this deck does take on a different meaning, where traditionally it is talking about like structure and authority, like over you, that you're subject to and have to abide by. This Divine Child in this deck, it's more about an internal structure and authority that you build and that you create as you get to know and accept yourself. And so this authority is something that you grant yourself the power once you realize that you have this power to choose love over doubt and fear, and that it leads you to victory every time. Okay? I will talk to you in a week, Leo. Thank you.